So El Pandillo was definitely a highlight, and meeting Felipe. But then the next day we went to El Viejito and had this amazing meal and just had a great time and learned from Karina and Juan. Then next time we moved to a different regions. We drive for 3 hours and we arrived to this hacienda taberna in the middle of the Sierra of Jalisco. Álvaro and Fausto, such great hosts as well. And every day was different spirits. I really enjoyed the horseback riding part. We went through the agave fields inside the hacienda of Álvaro. That was really fun. I produce Mezcal in Durango, in the north part of Durango in Mapimí, Lamparillo, one of the rarest agaves, and I'm the first producer in this region, and I'm also in my early stages as a producer. For me, I think from this trip I was the most benefited because I got to learn from more experienced producers. So a couple weeks before this trip happened, I was able to meet Fausto of Asil El Acabo and Carlos of Palomo in Dallas for a sales trip that Package put together. We got along really well. We began talks about, hey, we should meet sometime. We should do like a tour and then gather up in each of our distilleries and learn from each other our different perspectives. And Shawn called us, hey guys, Carlos is coming. Would you like to come over and maybe we can get together, go visit Felipe, and then go visit Juan, El Viejito, and then Fausto and Álvaro were already there. They are based in Guadalajara. So it was like, yeah, and it happened. And that's how everything began. From Karina at El Viejito, I learned fermentation was one of the main topics of how they measure. Fermentation, at least for me, has been always a very mysterious part of the process. Her being a very experienced chemical engineer, she was able to put in scientific technical methods things that for me were just like witchcraft, because in Mezcal we don't measure that much. We are most going by taste, we're going by aroma, we're going by temperature. So having that feedback from her was very useful and just a very nice person to hang out with. And always with some batangas on hand, conversations always get better. Carlos Méndez Blas, he's a fourth-generation mezcalero from Matatlan, Oaxaca, which is the capital, the epicenter of mezcal. So his operation is pretty big, but I'm impressed of how he has managed to keep the artisanal craft of mezcal and taking it to a bigger scale. He's able to make mezcal more approachable to everyone. He's a bit younger than me. He's more advanced than us in terms of experience and just the scale of what he has achieved with his brand, but also very kind to share with us least experienced producers with some really good advice. And he likes to party. He parties big. All of us, but him especially. I also met for the first time Álvaro, who is the owner of El Acabo and Asil, the Taberna Tres Gallos. He works together with Fausto, the youngest of the producers that were there. Fausto produces Raicilla in Aguatepec, Jalisco. Raicilla, it's one of the least known agave spirits out there. They have their own denomination of origin. Álvaro, such a cool guy, very experienced in business, and he has this amazing hacienda that we were able to stay at. Something I learned from them is the teamwork, where everyone is focused on their craft, with Fausto being also, he's young, but he has a lot of experience and he knows all the technical part of agave spirits production. Very passionate about it and really easygoing and very nice guy to hang out with. He makes good cocktails, he makes good carne asada. The old-fashioned with the Asil Raicilla was mind-blowing, and he's a good horseback rider as well. Good times there in Aguatepec. Juan Eduardo is such a great host. The way I see it, he's the director of the orchestra, but he also takes the time to enjoy and have friends. Delicious food, delicious place, obviously amazing tequila, drinks for everyone, and we just had a really good time, and also some lessons from someone who has been in the industry also for a long time. And the place in El Viejito, they have this amazing terrace. You know, in Mexico it's very common that we get together, have a carne asada, and it was definitely where I had the most fun.
Oye, me tengo que guardar cosas, no te puedo decir todo porque luego ahorita van a ir los Anonakis y se pone gacho.
Felipe, the man, the legend. So when we arrived to El Pandillo, Edgar received us, and I was hoping to be able to catch Felipe at least for a while. So after the tour, we were able to stop by and just say hi, and then he was very kind to spend with us a good amount of time. Fausto asked really interesting questions. He asked if he was to give us one advice, what will it be? And Felipe was very clear: quality. Focus on quality, and then everything else will happen. So he was saying this while they are scaling up production. I understand he has been pressured for a while to make more tequila, but he's growing at the pace that he doesn't sacrifice quality. So you can say that advice made a lot of sense. In every spirits production, agave spirits, you want certain standardization, but the way we interpret it, for example in Mezcal, is very different as how they do in tequila. And even among the different tequila distilleries we visited, I was able to see a lot of different interpretations about standardization. Something that impressed me a lot from El Pandillo is the blending, how they decide from batch to batch or using different tanks and using different juices, different agaves, they achieve to nail their desired profile. That's something that impressed me. Also in El Viejito, I saw some of that. They had all the benefits of a standardized process, but also some tweaking and some calibration right in the moment. In Mezcal, we tried to do that. Also in Taberna Tres Gallos, it was interesting that they all cooked with almost the same technique, but then the milling and the fermentation was very different in all three. Obviously, in Mezcal is even different. We work with all the fibers. We don't separate juices like they do in Raicilla and in Tequila. From these standardizations, you can learn how a process that is more artisanal, but at the end you also want consistency and also you want yield, because it's a business. So we also want to have certain parameters to make it just viable. The concept of this lineup that Package has put together, and myself being part of that, is mind-blowing. Imagine playing at the same team that Felipe Camarena. Package giving me the opportunity to meet Carlos, who is one of the top producers of Mezcal in Oaxaca, meeting Fausto and Álvaro with what they do in Raicilla, and then for me, just having the opportunity of being there, become friends with, it's amazing. To be honest, being part of this team, it also puts an extra pressure to do things right. You see the quality, you see the reputation they have. We are all trying to do world-class quality, which is one of the values of Package. We all want to have our stories told, our mezcales tasted, so Package is being that platform to make that happen. I think that's great, and it's very beneficial for example, for me, a small independent brand, and being among giants of the industry, it's very motivating, and it just helps me focus in my craft, focus in doing the best mezcal I can with what I have in my region.